All right, good morning, students. Last and final week, week 8, virtual learning. Congratulations, you made it. Okay. Here are some review questions from our last lesson, surface area of pyramids. So if you want to go ahead and solve some of these, feel free to do that. Just pause the video and then check your answers on the next slide. Okay. We are getting into a little bit of statistics for our last lesson that we need here. Mean, median, and mode. Our Common Core State Standard says that we are going to recognize that a measure of center for a numerical data set summarizes all of its values with a single number, while a measure of variation describes how its values vary with a single number. Here are some mathematical practices we'll be doing today. What are we going to learn? First part of this video will be to find the mean of a set of data, okay, or a set of numbers. What you're going to need to know, mean and average, those are actually the same thing, okay? Mean and average is the same exact thing. All right, here's the definition. The mean of a data set, when they say data set, let me grab out my pen. When they say this word data set, they just mean a set of numbers, okay? So when they say data set, they just mean a set of numbers, okay? It's the sum of the data. So we're going to take all the numbers that they give us and we're going to add it up. And then we're going to divide by the number of pieces of data. So let's say we have 5 numbers. We'll divide by 5. And basically, it's the balance point for the data set, okay? It's kind of the average. I would post your average test scores on the board, okay? So for first hour, maybe your average was an 87%, okay? And third hour was an 84%, whatever it was. That's all of your test scores added up and then divided by how many people we had in class. That's kind of how that works. They're going to show us how to do some here. So it says find the mean number of representatives for the 4 states shown in the pictograph. First thing that we have to do, they kind of show you a way that you could basically arrange these, or you can just do some mathematical ways here, and that's the kind of way I like. So what I would do is add up to see how many each state has. So first of all, Tennessee has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So Tennessee has 9. Kentucky has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Virginia has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And Louisiana has 6. What I would do now is add up all these numbers. So I'm going to do 9 plus 6 plus 11 plus 6. Okay. When I add all these things up, 9 plus 6 is 15. 15 plus 11 is 26. And then 26 plus 6 is 32. Okay, so that's the first thing we have to do. Step 1 is to add up all of your numbers. Okay. Step 2, and your last step, is to just take 32 and divide it by how many numbers we have. Well, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers. So I just divide it by 4. And my answer, 32 divided by 4, you should get 8. And notice that they got 8 as well. Okay. Let's try one together. It says the pictograph shows the recent number of electoral votes for selected states. Find the mean number of electoral votes for these 4 states. Okay. Notice looking at this, it says 1 check mark equals 1 vote. So when we check this, when we count this up, we'll just be counting by ones today. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 votes for Tennessee. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 votes for Kentucky. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 votes for Virginia. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 votes for South Carolina. Okay. Remember our first step, just add all those numbers up. 11 plus 8 plus 13 plus 8. Okay, I'm going to add them up 2 by 2 here. So 11 plus 8 is 19. And then we'll do 13 plus 8, which is 21. When I add those two things together, I should get 40. Okay. Second step is to take my sum, take my 40, and divide by how many numbers I have. Well, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers. Just divide by 4. 40 divided by 4, you should get 10. And let's see if that's what we get. Yes, 10 electoral votes. Notice this is a word problem, so we do have units attached to our answer, 10. All right, a dot plot. This is something that we may have seen in class, may not have remembered it. But what this dot means, it means I have 1 0. I have a 0. I have a 1. I have 2 2s because there's 2 dots. I have a 3, and I also have a 4. Okay, so it says the dot plot shows the number of pets owned by each of the members of Jennifer's reading group. Find the mean number of pets. All right, so let's go ahead and let's list all the numbers so we know what we have here. Okay, so I have 1 dot on my 0, so that means I have 1 0. I have 1 dot on the number 1, so I have a 1. I have 2 dots on the number 2, which means I have 2 and then 2, so there'll be 2 2s. I have 1 dot on the number 3, so that means I'll have 1 3. And I have 1 dot on the number 4, so that means I have 1 4. Okay. Follow the steps. Just add all these things up. 0 plus 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. Okay. Sure, we can add them up 2 at a time. 0 plus 1 is 1. 2 plus 2 is 4. 3 plus 4 is 7. And let's add all those numbers up together. And I should get 12. Okay. Second step. Take your sum, which was 12, and divide it by how many numbers you had. Well, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 numbers. 12 divided by 6 is 2. And 2 pets should be your answer because we do have a word problem here. You need a unit to go onto that, 2, right? So average, mean, they're the same exact thing. Add up all your numbers, divide by how many numbers you have. That's a pretty simple concept, not too bad, okay? We're going to move on to the second part of this, which is the median and the mode. Okay, median and the mode. So we have mean, which is the one we just figured out. We have median, and then we have mode. They all start with M's. You need to know measures of center, median, and mode. We'll talk about what they are, and here they are. Okay, the median of a list of values is the value that appears at the center of the list. Okay, if the list contains an even number of values. All right. The mode is the number or numbers that occur most often. All right. So the median means the center. That's the one that's in the center. The mode is the one that shows up the most in the list. Okay, so we'll talk a little bit about what that looks like. All right, here we go. The table shows the number of monkeys at 11 different zoos. Find the median and the mode of the data. Okay, they're going to walk us through here. Our first step always in this process is going to be to order the data from least to greatest. So that's probably the most annoying part about median and mode, is that you have to order them from least to greatest. That's probably going to be the one that's going to take you the most amount of time. All right. So here's what that looks like for median. They went ahead, and we'll do this obviously together on the next slide, but they went ahead and ordered them from least to greatest. They took all of these numbers, put the least on this side, the greatest on this side, and filled in everything in between. Okay. Now, how you find the median, you actually just cross off from each side. So you take one from the left, and you also take one from the right. You take one from the left, you take another one from the right. You take another one from the left, you take another one from the right. Take another one from the left, another one from the right, another one from the left, another one to the right. So now you can notice that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers crossed off on each side. And we're left with one in the middle, which is 28. Okay, that's how you find the median. The mode is the one that just shows up the most. So which number do we see the most often? Well, there's only one 12, there's one 16, there's two 18s, there's a 25, there's a 28, there's a 30, there's a 34, 36, 42, 44. So which one do we see the most often? We actually see the 18 most often because there's two of them. Okay, so the median in this case would be 28 because that's in the middle. And the mode, the one that we see the most, is 18. Let's try one together. All right, here we go. It says the table shows the various ages of passengers sitting in first class on an airline flight. Find the median and the mode of the data. Okay, so our first step needs to be to put these things in order from least to greatest. So I'm going to do it right down here. We'll start out. What's the smallest number that we can find? Well, it should be 5. I'm just crossing these off so I know that I've used them already. Okay. The next smallest number looks like it is 15. I have a 15 here. I also have another 15. So I'm going to go ahead and mark that. The next smallest number should be a 20. Then I have a 25. I have another 25, so I'm going to list that. The next smallest number should be 31. Next smallest is 35. Then 40. Then we have 50. And then 55, and then 85 is last. Cool. All right, we have listed them from least to greatest. Let's go ahead and find the median. So we're just going to cross them off from one side to the next. So I'm going to use a light color so you can still see the numbers. Okay. So we take one from the left, take one from the right, one from the left, one from the right. We'll count 3 from the left, 3 from the right, 4 from the left, 4 from the right, 5 from the left, and 5 from the right. And if I was to go ahead and cross these two off here, I would have nothing left. Okay, I would have nothing left. So what do I need to do? I was hoping I could undo that. Sorry. So these were the last two that I had, 25 and 31. Okay, I'm glad this happened because we need to talk about this. If I have two numbers left in the middle, you cannot just put that 25 and 31 as the median. We have to find one single number. Okay, so pull out both of these numbers, 25 and 31. We're going to add those two together. Okay, we're basically going to find the average of these numbers, the mean of these numbers. So I add up 25 plus 31, and you should get 56. And I'm going to divide by 2 because there's two numbers there. Okay, so I'm just finding the mean of those numbers. Your answer, 28. So your median is going to be 28 here. Okay. I didn't have one number in the middle. I had two numbers left, so I had to add and then divide by 2. Okay. And then we're going to look at what number do we see most. There's a reason I crossed them off in green so you could still see them when we're walking by. So I have 1 5, I have 2 15s, I have 1 20, so we're going to keep an eye on the 15s. I have 1 20, I have 2 25s, 1 31, 1 35, 1 40, 1 50, 1 55, 1 85. So the numbers I see the most, and yes, you're allowed to have 2 of these for the mode. The numbers that I see the most in my list are 15, I have 2 of them, and 25. I have 2 of those as well. Let's check and see if we're right. Hopefully we didn't get cut off here. The median was 28, which we found. The mode, 15 and 25. Cool. All right, last one. Smaller numbers, which will be good. So here we go. Find the median and the mode of the pounds of how much dogs weigh. Okay, so 15, 45, 26, 55, 73, 15, and 30. Let's go ahead and organize these from least to greatest. My smallest number is 15. Notice that I have 2 15s. Okay. The next smallest number I have is 26. Then I have 30. Then I have 45. A 55. And then lastly a 73. Alright, so that was my first step. Second step, we're going to go ahead and cross off to see which one is in the middle. Okay, so we'll take 1 from the left, 1 from the right, 2 from the left, 2 from the right, 3 from the left, and 3 from the right. Okay, so this one's nice and easy. We are left with the number 30 in the middle, so we can just call that our median. So our second step will be to find the median, and we said that the median was 30 because it's dead in the middle. Okay. Now let's find out the mode. Which one do we see most often? Which one shows up the most? Let's see. I have 2 15s. I have 126, 130, 145, 155, and 73. 15 shows up the most. Let's check and see if we are right. 30 was the median, and mode was 15. Very good. All right, some extra stuff for you. You can find the median and mode of this data set just to double check and make sure you're doing it correctly. Make sure you're taking your quizzes. I'm going to release this on Friday, so obviously today, hopefully you're watching it today, getting that done. This is the last thing you need to get done, so make sure you take that quiz and you are all set. Thank you guys.